Well, there's just 1 month left for submissions to the nation's first Indigenous-led truth-telling process, Victoria's Yoorrook Justice Commission. It's been examining the consequences of colonisation on First Nations people. Commissioner Sue-Ann Hunter, a Wurundjeri woman, is Yoorrook's Deputy Chair, and she joins us now in the studio. Good morning to you, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
What has it meant to people to put a submission in to tell their story to, as we said, the nation's first truth-telling commission?
Well, we've just had two recent ones that come to mind, and both of them have said, I feel a sense of relief. I've been able to tell my story. It's now the burden of yours, and it's also the understanding of it's going to form the official public record for the state. So they walked away lighter, is what they said. So if you can add to that story and have our voices in, the history of this state, I think that's a good thing.
Can you understand, though, that there could be some reluctance of people who'd love to make a submission but are held back for a range of reasons? What would you say to them?
Yeah, there's quite a few, and it's a really good question. And we've just been encouraging them. We've got social emotional wellbeing support. Don't be a bystander and don't regret this. And once it's documented, your family has this documentation of your family history. They don't have to go searching and looking. And although it's hard, we might be a Royal Commission, but we're also a truth-telling, Aboriginal-led. We'll hold their hands through it and they can do it their way.
It's been really lovely to see, looking through, the submissions as I do, seeing that people submit poems or songs or artwork, right? Yeah. So it's not, maybe that's lessens the barrier for people as well.
Yeah, it's whatever people feel comfortable with. So I think I've said before, we've had a poem on a napkin given to somebody in a cafe. We've sat on country, we've sat in kitchen tables, people have come into the office, we've gone to wherever they want to be or need to feel comfortable to tell their truth. And in any way, you could do audio, you can do a video just on your phone, whatever it looks like.
And the most important message is time is running out for submissions to
That's
be made,
correct.
right?
November 22nd is the end date, and it needs to come to an end. It's a process, it's a truth-telling commission. But we do encourage people to come forward and tell their truth. Be on the official public record, don't be a bystander.
And it will form part of recommendations to the government, which will come out next year.
That's correct. So we've already had, one report with recommendations. And what it helped does is, people say, you've heard my story, but actually we haven't heard your individual story. And that's important. And it actually goes on to form evidence for our recommendations into systemic injustice in this state.
So important. So for any mob listening, you've got a month to go. Please come and put your story forward if you'd like to the Commission. I'd like to ask you about what happened in the Parliament yesterday. The King and Queen are visiting Australia. Do you believe Lydia Thorpe's message resonated with some First Nations people? Obviously, there's a diversity of views among Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, but speaking to the removal of artefacts, of the loss of land, would that have resonated with some Indigenous people around Australia?
I think it would have. I can't comment on Lydia as such, she's sister girl, she'll do and her messages are her messages. But I think it's a complex history with the King that we need to understand, and the country still needs to heal from the past. So how we do that is part of truth-telling, part of moving forward and reconciling with the past to the present. Is being able to come forward and tell the truth and heal as a nation together.
And that's part of what you've been investigating, going all the way back to colonisation, right?
Exactly right. And so how do we get to, as you know, in Victoria, we've got the treaty next. So our recommendations form themes for negotiating treaty, and there's the evidence behind it, which is the submissions. So people coming forward, they're part of this process. And it's historic. It's the first one in Australia, the first state to do this.
It really is, yeah. Well, thanks so much, Sue-Ann, for coming in this morning. Such an important message.
Thanks.
And we'll catch up soon. Thank you.
And get those submissions in.
Yeah, and do it.